Hello, everyone. This is Smart Moriah TV and radio as well. We are live. And this is your host, Juliet Hammond. I just want to welcome you all. Happy New Year! This is our first show since 2023. And of course, I'm going to be opening this show with a very special guest with me. And we're going to be looking at a very important topic as well. Okay, so I have with me a wonderful woman, a philanthropist. This lady helps a lot of charities all over the place. She helps in funding, in organizing events, and she is the founder of Extraordinary Achievers. And she organizes the events for extraordinary achievements annually. I've got Lady Chief Waynett Peters. You're welcome, my dear sister.
Thank you very much. And I truly appreciate you. And thank you for having me on your show.
My goodness, you've done so much for yourself. I'm so proud of you. I mean, we can't even, stop reading your biography. It's a lot. But I want you to pick up some of the things you've done in the past and just let us know. When did you start? How did it start for you?
When does it start? I think really in life, when you ask when does it start, it starts as a child.
Oh,
you
my
start as a child, and then your journey from childhood shapes you up
goodness.
from being a little child to a young adult to an adult and to your now, wherever you are at. So my journey starts from being a child, and I start getting shaped up from being a child, and leads me on to my adulthood, and then leads me onto now. Onto now, which is totally a different thing. And I think everything that I've been through, my whole journey from the beginning, has shaped me up for my today.
Yeah. And I can see it actually radiates, it shows in your life, in your lifestyle. And today we're going to be talking about identity. And I
Mhm.
know you are a person that knows much about this topic, identity and purpose as well, you
Mhm.
know. And just tell us a little bit of the things that you have done in the past, some of the things that you have helped, some of the work you have done in the past as well. Because it
So
is part of your identity.
okay, narrowing it down, I come from an IT project management world, and as I always say to everyone, that is who my parents dreamt of me becoming, somewhat a professional. But then I'm most proud of what I found on my journey on my own, and that's the humanitarian work, and that's who I am, and that's what I'm most proud of. I've achieved a lot, and I'm truly grateful. I've had it all, I've lost it all, I've started again. So I have a story from riches to rags to the grace of God. And so I have experienced what God's grace really is like, God's favor, and how God can bless you, how God can shape you and reshape you and turn you into something more purposeful that we're going to talk about on this show. So those are the things I'm proud of. I'm proud of the person that I've become through my journey. I'm very grateful for my accomplishments, but I'm much more proud of the work that I do, which is my humanitarian work.
Right. We're talking about, identity today.
Mhm.
And I believe that identity encompasses, our relationships, memories, experiences, all the things we've done in the past and the things we're still doing. Who we are. Tell me, what do you understand by identity? What is it?
Identity, as you rightly said, what do I understand about identity? Because identity means different things to different people. Identity to some is their name, identity to some is their gender, identity to some is what they represent professionally, identity to some is who they are at what point in their life. Identity to me is knowing your inner self,
Yeah.
knowing what your inner self really is and what you stand for, what you believe, And that
Yeah.
thing that makes you tick when you go to sleep, when you wake up, that's my identity. That's how
Yeah.
I identify with me, my inner self, my true self, the peace that I feel within me, the purpose for my living. That's my identity, is who am I really? Asking the question, why was I created? Why was I born? And to what end?
How important is it? Why do we need to know about our identity?
It's
Well,
important for us to know who we truly are because it shapes our everyday. It means that every day when we wake up, we are looking forward to doing something. We are working towards doing something for the following day, the following week, the following month, and the following year. But you have to know yourself truly to identify with you. Who are you and your purpose and your reason and your why on this earth? I always say that I truly believe now that we each carry a message, and we have to find that message that is inside us, because that message that is truly right in here, that you feel in your belly, that message that's in there that you are to deliver on your time on earth, is what identifies you, and therefore identifies what you will become and what you will do.
so it's very, very important. And what happens if we haven't got a sense of identity? Because I'm thinking now, what if one doesn't know who they are?
I think we all know who we are. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't know who they are. It's only when we're ready to exercise who we are. I know there's this saying that says, if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything and anything. But I think truly, I don't think there's anyone that does not have an identity, a true inner identity. True inner identity is in each and every one of us. We are born with it. It's something that is in our DNA, it's something that's in us. It's something that is not made up. It's something that you just don't stumble upon. It's something that's inside you. So, in answering your question, what is it if you don't have your identity or you don't know your identity? I think it's a question or more of how can you search for identity and find your identity. And I think that's a whole new program altogether. But I think we are more defining on soul searching, on purpose searching. And that's what we're looking for, to find out who we are truly and being true to oneself. On those quiet moments when you lie in bed at night and you think, who am I? What am I? What do I love doing? And what can I do more? What is it that I can do that only does not fulfill myself, but that which is of a greater purpose? What is it that is greater than I, that I can do? And I can identify myself with it, that I can fulfill my mission on earth.
Do you think that having a sense of identity actually helps us to achieve what we do today? Because you've been doing this program for a very long time, extraordinary achievers. Do you think that extraordinary achievers has got a different identity, or they understand their identity more than others?
I think that we're all extraordinary. In each and every one of us is extra. We are all extraordinary. In my journey, when I lost it all, in my journey to finding all back again, and I always say to everyone, it's not about the how much pounds or how much material stuff of gaining that, although it's very important. I always say to everyone, never say it's not important, because you don't board a bus and say, I love you, to the bus driver, and then he says, please take a sip. He'll tell you, get off the bus, or switching off the bus. So we need that. we need that. We so much need that for the world to go around. But however, when I was in my journey, my comeback journey, it was the homeless, the mentally challenged, the substance abusers that I spent a lot of time with, and mentoring and coaching and assisting, and them assisting me, that assisted me to find my true self. So they knew their identity. They might have been lost in drugs or alcohol or defined as mentally challenged, but they knew who they were because they were able to sit down and nest me when I would sit and the park would sit by the canal, and they'll say to me, "Why are you sitting?" And I say, "I'm lost. I don't know how to re-find myself," and they'll tell me stories. So even with the people that are labeled on earth, they help others to find themselves because they know how they got lost. So they know that there's a right way that they can share. So therefore, we all have an identity to find, and is there to be found. It's just when we take time to ourselves and away from everything else and really search and ground ourselves and to really search that we do find that identity can be found.
It can be found. So that means that not everybody has got it. People have got to look for it.
That extraordinary. Yes, you have to search for it. To be an extraordinary achiever, as we call our organization, the Extraordinary Achievers, is to have achieved, to be extraordinary, to be exceptional, in that you have found something, as I said earlier, that is greater than yourself. Not as great as God, but is greater than you. Something that is in you that is greater than you, which is extraordinary, which is exceptional, which is outstanding, that you find within yourself. And as I said earlier, which is your message that you have. What message do I carry? What message am I supposed to spread in my time? What is it that I'm supposed to work on? And what can make me extraordinary? What can make you extraordinary is being totally selfless and without doing things because you selfishly are doing them, either for fame, either for the thank yous. When you actually get to the point when you can do so much and people don't say thank you, and you're just like, it's okay, I done it anyway.
Yeah, is actually a kind of recognizing who you are and your purpose, isn't it? Your identity as well. Yeah,
That's right.
and what I'm trying to get at is, how do we go from having an identity? Because in as much as we most people know their identity, but do they actually correctly know their identity? Because some of us struggle to identify who we are. Some people haven't, they might think, okay, all right, I am called who I am. you know, I am this person that goes to this place. I go to school, I do this, I work there. But have they actually understood who they are? Have they got a true value of themselves for them to actually achieve and become extraordinary achievers? This is where I'm struggling with, because if we have an identity, why is it that we still struggle sometimes?
Your works show if you're walking in the right path. I think what you do, more than what you actually say, is what you actually do. We can all speak well and we can all talk about the magnificent and amazing things, but we just have to look at the work that we do. What are we remembered by? What are we known for? And what do we actually get up and do? And as I said earlier, that is those things that you can do and you feel whole and complete. If someone is confused about their identity, then they're not being true to themselves. And if someone is today, they are turning into a chameleon, so they're green, blue, and black in the same one day, then they haven't found their identity. Yes, you can play many different roles and change colors in terms of roles that you're playing. But if you actually are just changing color when, like a chameleon, that when something camouflages, you camouflage to that color, then you jump here and there, then you haven't found your own true identity. When finding your own true identity and being extraordinary, it means you are the same person throughout. You are the person that walks the walk, not just talks the talk, but you actually walk the walk. You do as you say.
Yeah. And this is why I was saying something about having true identity, being able to be authentic in your identity. I know most people fake, who they are. There's a lot of fake IDs out there. Some people, their names are actually not true, their true names. How do we make sure that we are walking in our true identity, knowing exactly who we are, who God has called us to be, knowing why we are on this earth. And that takes us to purpose.
Mhm.
Tell me about purpose, the way you understand it, my dear sister, because I am so excited. This topic is so exciting to me. So I can go on and on, but tell me what purpose is all about.
Living and walking in purpose references to our identity. First of all, we find out who are we, and we find out why are we, and we find out what our reason on earth, and that evolves in each time. I don't think you fully know your reasons and of your why and when and how all in one day. It is a journey. I think if you're prepared to walk that journey, you continue to fulfill a purpose in each journey. And I think each journey takes you to the next purpose, and the next purpose to the next purpose. And I personally think we have different purposes in life, depending on where we are at in our journeys in life. There's a different purpose. I used to think that my purpose before was just being friendly and being nice, and that was it, and that was the greatest thing I could have ever done. Spending time with others that were disadvantaged or were going through adversity, and when I firsthand experienced what it was like not to have material things, but to actually have true love within inside you, and to actually appreciate the little things in life and realize that there was more that you could do out of the little things in life. Then I realized that the purpose building is day by day, experience by experience of doing something. In finding a purpose, I always say it's great to volunteer in different fields. I volunteered in a church for a whole 2 years, and serving in that church made me aware of so much more than I'd ever learned from my professional life, from the corporate world. It opened me up to knowing a lot more than that. I keep on growing. At the moment, I'm on the purpose and on the road of let's unite all the charities and humanitarians that are out there. Let's see how we can support each other to do better. How can we reach out to those that need help? That's the purpose and the journey I'm walking on now. That's making me that makes me smile, that makes me happy, that makes me feel complete. And I think in each and every one, it's finding out what do you really enjoy, that thing that maybe sometimes you don't actually even get paid for, but you feel the love inside you growing like $1,000,000,000, and everything else just comes together by itself. It's having that inner greater passion to serve mankind, to serve humanity, to serve someone else, to serve a need that is greater than your own. And to actually realize that whatever you think is a challenge to someone else, they wish they had your problem. Your problem isn't. My mom used to say, for a person that's looking for £1, a person that's looking for £10, a person that's looking for £1,000, and a person that's looking for £1,000,000, their challenge is the same, because their needs at that moment in time are equal, because they need to get to that level.
That is it. That is it. And in achieving our purpose, we really need to be guided. Do you think that we need guidance, or is this something that comes that is inside of us, or do we need to be guided? Because a lot of people want to do different things. A lot of people have got so many dreams. So a lot of people want to have make a difference on earth, impact people's lives. How do they go about doing that? Is this something that they have to be guided? Is it something that they have to, that comes inside
Personally, I have the view that your purpose is found within your passion. I don't think someone can define your passion for you to turn it into a purpose. I think it's something that is inside you. We talked about identity, knowing yourself, knowing your why, knowing your message, knowing your love, knowing the whys, the whens, the hows, and understanding them deeply inside you. I don't think that is something that you can be taught. I think it's something that is inside you. Indeed, yes, you can go to self-awareness courses, you can go to self-development courses, you can have a coach and a mentor, and they can help you to grow in this stage, to do your self-discovery, being guided by someone to do your self-discovery. Ultimately, it is inside you, and you have to bring it out, because it has to be true to one. It's not something that you can copy from someone else. Everyone else can hold your hand and take you to the water, but you have to drink the water, because after that you have to guide your own passion and your own purpose. So it comes from the inner you. It's not anything that I feel can be made up. There are lots of things that we can be coached, but your inner purpose comes from inside your passion.
It comes from your passion. That is powerful. That is so powerful. And I know that you've got this event that is coming up in March. Tell us a little bit more about it.
How exciting. On the 11th of March. How exciting. On the 11th of March, it's just around the corner. It's so exciting. And we're truly honored to have you present on the 11th of March at the Extraordinary Achievers Charity Awards. We will be awarding charities that are doing exceptional work. There are charities that are based in the UK. There are charities that are doing work abroad, different countries all around. They are exceptional human beings that are doing extraordinary work, and they have got a charitable spirit and a heart that is a benevolent heart that they carry. And so they're reaching out to different causes, be it related to mental health, be it related to children, the elderly, all kind of different sectors that they're coming from, and they're helping others. They're amazing charities. So on the 11th of March, we will be recognizing and celebrating with them and networking with other charities, humanitarians, and of course, supporters and those that make it possible.
So you're inviting people. When is it going to be happening? And where?
It's going to be in Hyde Park, and it starts at 4 p.m. GMT, London time. The English London time. It's going to be in Hyde Park, and we are expecting it to be an amazing evening. We have dinner, we have a music production show, and the music production show is bringing us healing, total healing from the inside to the outside. So we expect to hear some music that will heal the soul, that will heal the spirit, and will heal our inner self. And we pray that we walk away totally fulfilled.
Wonderful. And I hope I'll be there as well.
Absolutely.
I want us to look at people that are struggling now with a sense of identity or purpose. What is your advice to them?
My advice to anyone that's struggling in finding their identity is take time out for yourself. Take time out to find your inner self the best way possible. That I found my passion and I found my purpose journey. Because as I said, purpose is a journey, because it grows and it differs at different times. And you think, I think I'm loving that. Let me concentrate a little bit more on that. I took time out alone to walk, and I would walk in parks. I would walk by the river, and just took time out, to appreciate just nature. Things that money cannot buy, but the things that God gave us. And he said, here, there are trees, here, there's the land, and here, there's water.
Yes.
And take time out just to sit back and first of all, just to ground yourself. I think the initial thing is to ground oneself, to be able to find pure happiness within yourself, by yourself, without music, without TV, without books, without anything, but finding that inner joy inside you that just springs up and you think, yep, I was made and created for a purpose. I think taking time out to love oneself is very good, and that's the first step that anyone that is struggling to find their identity or their purpose should do, is to find their inner self first. No one else can find the inner self for you. Take time out to walk, and at night time before you go to sleep, meditate. Figure out, what have you done today? What have I done today? What have I achieved today? Could I have done more? Could I have done it differently? What else can I do? Find fulfillment in doing the little things. Find fulfillment, as we know, in just smiling at someone and saying good morning, and just helping an old lady cross the road, or help someone with their shopping, or help a mother push a buggy that's got loads of things on there. Finding joy in the little things. And then I always say, take time to volunteer. You see Mount Moriah doing something, and ring Mount Moriah and say, Reverend Juliet, what can I do? How can I help? How can I be of help? And taking time out in volunteering in different projects for others doing things is another way of finding your identity and purpose, because you'll then find what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what would you like to do again. And when you're sitting on the bus and you look outside and you see a child walking and you're thinking, that child, I think that child needs some love. Or you see an elderly person and you're thinking, I wish I could just go and clean their house for them. Then maybe that's where your passion is. Find that thing that makes you think twice and think, I would like to help. And what you're always drawn to helping. Volunteer in that first. Volunteer to as many different organizations as you can at different times, accordingly, spending enough time, dedicating your time, being consistent in your dedication and doing it, and taking it as though it was your baby. And I think in there, it's a journey that you are starting to make.
I like the idea of taking time out, going for a walk in the park. Sometimes that's where I get my inspiration. Just going for a walk in the park, and just having that time, where you are sitting, you just sit and you're praying and you're having that meditation with God and getting some inspiration for what to do next. There is nothing that can take away such a joy, such fulfillment when you're spending time alone with God, without anything disturbing you. There's no distraction, there's nothing. That time, one-to-one time with God is absolutely so precious. And that is where you can get your inspiration. That is where you can be affirmed. Most of us, we get told off many times. People think, that we're not good enough. Even at work, you're being bombarded with, you're not good enough and things. But when you spend time with God, that's where you get your affirmation. Who does God? Who are you? Who are you at the end of the day? Who are you? You're not how people define you. It's what God defined you to be. I think that's where you get a sense of identity, and this is why we can have purpose in life, and we can pursue the purpose, knowing that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
Amen.
I don't know that if that's what if you have any other thing to add there, but I feel that our sense of purpose begins with us knowing who we truly are, not what people define us to be. You might be on the social media, people will define you to be this and that, but who are you when you go to your bedroom, when you are lying down in bed, when you are walking alone on the road or driving alone? Who are you? Who do you think you are? What makes you think? And what is your weaknesses? And what is your strength?
That is
correct. You can use your strength, and also you can use your weaknesses, identifying those weaknesses and those strengths and making proper use of them. That is purpose.
Absolutely.
That is purpose. I just want to say thank you so much for coming to this program today. It's Mount Moriah TV and radio. We are live, and appreciate what you've been doing so far with Extraordinary Achievers and all the charity work you've been doing so far. I really want to appreciate you and say thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for receiving Mount Moriah Award as well.
Thank you for the recognition. We do the work, as I always say, we don't do the work for recognition, but when you do get recognized for it makes you happy. It makes you realize that you are trying your best and other people are recognizing that you are walking the walk.
Well, thank you very much for coming. And I want to close the show with next week. Listeners and viewers, we're gonna have another guest, a wonderful guest, coming up to speak to us about menopause and our health in general. So please tune in next week, Sunday at 8 o'clock GMTV. And, you know, please invite other people, your friends, family members, and let us sit down and just have a chat on a Sunday evening. This is what we'll be doing from now going forward. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Lady Waynett Peters. May the Lord
Thank
bless
you
you.
for having me.
Greetings to your family and stay
God
wonderfully
bless you.
blessed.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Amen.
See you all next week. God bless you. Bye bye.